Welcome to Hometown Highlights. We're talking about Atlanta United's game against Portland, but I want to start with the Campeones Cup. That's right, the champion of the MLS takes on the champion of Liga MX, the Mexican League. And this year, was Atlanta, obviously, because we won last year, and Club America, which is a very, very good team in Mexico. And I did not expect much of it. I thought we were going to get clapped, to be honest. But
going into it,
we got that dub. Our first international trophy, dude. That's really exciting.
Oh, I know. It's like,
because now we've seen our first domestic trophy. We might see our first U.S. Open Cup this year as well, which I'm really looking forward to. But we might see the U.S. Open Cup come home. We might see the MLS Cup. We've seen it come home once, and then we get the Campeones Cup. So really, if we get the U.S. Open Cup this year,
come home with a treble this year.
It was, that'd be sick.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Sick.
That was a pretty intense game too.
It was. Oh my god! I had was 4 of us over in my little room at the house watching that game.
Ooh.
It was awesome though. We scored very early and all that, but Club America was very good, obviously, and I really thought for a minute, I thought it was tipping in their favor, but they started playing so emotionally, and they were so angry that they were losing, that they started just fouling like crazy. Red card at one point, penalty was given, like all kinds of stuff. Actually, 2 penalties were given. Joseph missed one, but
we won't talk about
it. He didn't miss, but it was saved. But it was a bad pin, but it was saved.
Like when you say that little hop, like
that's what he used to do. Now he just does the little stutter run up, which is fine. But he used to do the little stutter run up, jump, shoot, and it's stupid.
It's just about that.
Yeah,
I still have mixed feelings about that.
It's just he get in the keeper's head, really.
I'm honestly gonna say I'm surprised about the outcome of that entire match. Going into it, I wasn't very hopeful.
Yeah,
I didn't have much faith in our boys, but boy, was I wrong.
And the reason I didn't have faith wasn't because of us. It was because we made 5 changes in that game, including backup goalkeeper Alec Khan coming in.
Dude, he came in clutch with some of those saves.
He did some of those saves. Some of the goals he allowed, I was like, Goose wouldn't have done that. But, gotta give him his minutes, man.
Half and half.
Hey, he did a good job, though. So, we rotated 5 people in that game. Hindman got on the score sheet. Happy to see that. The fact that we rotated 5, I wonder what it would look like with our main 11. Really, I'm curious to see how it would have been. I think we would have just conceded less goals, to be honest. But anyway, on to Portland and Atlanta,
which you're really here for, the more exciting
MLS Cup rematch here. Woo. And we did what we do. We just beat them. All right, that's it. Let's see you guys next week.
Came home with a clean sheet.
Clean sheet.
Kicked their
butt, with some good saves.
That's it.
Let's break this down. So first I want to go through the goals, and then I have some match facts I want to talk about. LGP in the 14th.
My man LGP.
He did not
finally getting a goal.
Finally getting that goal. He didn't. He was surprised that he did it. You can see it on his face. Goal's a goal.
He was in the right place.
It hit off his foot, and it went in the back of the net.
Yeah, that's
a shot and that's a goal.
Yeah.
Bang. There it is. And then the 46th minute, Joseph scored. And I'm going to talk more about that in a little bit, but I really want to jump in these match facts that I pulled up because they're actually very interesting. The main interesting topic for me is possession and shots, because 51% possession for Atlanta, so it wasn't anything crazy.
Ooh.
It wasn't crazy.
That's kind of bad for us, though. Normally we keep like 60 to 70.
But really, the biggest thing is shots and shots on target, because we both had the same amount of shots on target, and we only had 3 more shots than the whole game, which is interesting because all that means is that our defending was better. That's literally all that means.
Yeah. Because
they had the same amount of shots on target, we converted more, and the shots they took were good. They were good, but we just converted more. And so what that tells me is that A, our attackers are more clinical than theirs, and B, our goalkeeper / our defense is better than theirs.
Oh yeah.
Right? And the reason that's exciting is because Portland has been a really good team this year. They've scored a lot of goals this year.
Mm-hmm.
And we seem to be in this flow state with this team right now. There is look back at the first 4 games we played this season and look at the last 4 games we played this season, and
night and day difference.
And part of it is the signings. The new guys are coming in clutch. Miram's huge. Miram's huge right now.
Oh yeah.
Miram's huge. Hyman, he's good too. Barco being back is big. Again, I do wish we saw more Viabla, but it is what it is. The new guys are making a difference, and it really shows. And not just that, but also the new kind of formation we're running where Pity's a little more up top with Joseph and things like that. Like, those little changes are making him more effective. Miram being on the outside, and Gressel on the other side.
Yeah.
It's very effective. Miram's just silky smooth on that ball, man. I don't know how else to describe it. I'm really excited because we've just become top of the East again. On goal difference, to be fair, but we still have a game in hand. If we can keep up a good stretch and get some distance between us and Philadelphia, we could easily stay at the top this whole rest of the season.
Easily.
Because we're playing extremely well. Our attack is so lethal right now. Joseph's so lethal right now. What has he scored in if you count all competitions, he scored in his last 12 games?
12 games, yeah.
Consecutively? I mean, that is ridiculous. And then, but everybody looked good. Everybody looked good in that game. Everybody in the front five looked amazing.
Well, the entirety of the game, the entire team looked pretty good.
The entire team. Well, I'm just saying attacking because that's
from Brad Guzan holding down that goal and not even conceding a single goal.
LGP
there's one great save that Guz had that just stopped it. Yeah, LGP coming in clutch with the stops, with the saves,
Really.
And back on
the
LGP,
work rate.
The fact that this man can go from being just a defender to not only getting a goal,
but then
getting 2 actual attempts on goal. He had a header that was
which he scored a lot last season. He scored a lot of headers. It was blocked. He was headed on goal.
And then when Joseph laid one off to him, I think it was Joseph, right? No, it was Barco. It was either Joseph or Barco just laid one off. I think it was Joseph. And you can kind of see he wasn't expecting it because his foot was like, I was like, are you really sure you want to pass me? But he took the shot and the goalie saved it. I mean, it was a nice shot.
He's just overall just a really good. I'm glad we have him. He's a great athlete. Ooh. I mean, he crunches people with some tackles. It's what you want from Dirty South soccer. You know what I mean? It's what you want. You want to get a little rough, man, a little rough and rowdy. Yeah. Like when I'm at a game, LGP flattens a little, twig dude. I'm just like, ah! Like everybody just freaks out. It's amazing.
But we'll say he did get flattened out himself.
He did get flattened. No lie.
I mean, it was a clean tackle, but it just came out of nowhere. Man, his face hit the turf. You hate it for him.
Another big thing, I guess this would kind of go towards defense as well, is that Portland lost 2-0. They let in 2 goals, and they had 18 fouls in the game versus our 8. Now, fouls do happen, and it's not always necessarily defenders, but it's mostly defenders. And so the fact that they fouled us 18 times and it's still a loss. Normally, when you see a high foul count, it staggers the attack a little bit. You know what I mean? It kills it a little bit, whatever. Yeah. And out of those 18 fouls, none of them were free kicks near the box that we almost scored. We didn't score off any free kicks because of fouls. We didn't get a penalty because of fouls. Right?
And on that note, the fact that we didn't get a penalty from one of those fouls, the fact that foul was not called when PT was saucing on some folks in the box.
Oh yeah.
And then just gets tripped up. Man didn't even touch the ball. You can look at the video right now on the screen right here in front of you. There's no change in direction in that ball's spin or where it's moving. Man did not touch the ball.
Didn't touch it.
Just killed Pity and no penalty. What?
And the thing that is weird to me is that they like to use VAR for everything. You know what I mean? Literally everything.
Except for when it actually counts, when it's actually a penalty.
And that's what's bizarre to me is that, VAR is a good thing to the game. A lot of people are really mad about VAR with, the Premier League right now. Yeah, a lot of controversy in it and this and that. But VAR is a good thing. It should be a good thing because it's supposed to give you the correct result and not have that man error. Because back in the day, it was just does he call it or not? You know what I mean?
Is it the hand of God or not?
It's that was it though. It was does he see it? Did he call it or not? So people are getting away with a lot more dirty stuff and bad fouls and handballs even and stuff like that. So I don't dislike VAR. It's just that the MLS refs obviously don't know how to use it.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? Because I've been hearing a lot about the Premier League and about all the controversy, but none of the calls have been bad calls. So there have been game winners that have been called back, but for good reason because the guy was offside.
Yeah,
or because of this or because of that. As far as I know right now, in the Premier League, where VAR in the first few weeks of the Premier League has been used a phenomenal amount of times, there have not been any that were but that wasn't the right decision. But in the MLS, it's every week, multiple times a week.
However, I will say in this past week in just MLS games, I think there's 3 VAR calls that were actually
good.
The right calls. They turned over what was ruled on the pitch because they had more information.
But this is the same week in the MLS, and the guy didn't even check it. Normally, you just check it at least. If it looks like something, you don't call it.
But then that's on the
ball goes out of play.
Ref,
well, really, it's not even on the main ref on the field. He doesn't decide when to check something. The VAR ref that's up in the booth looking at it should have, while the play was continuing to go on afterwards, he should have looked at it and then gone, like, hey, go over to the screen and act like you're watching this, but it's a penalty. You know, or whatever they say.
Just pretend like you're watching, but no, it's actually a penalty. Yeah.
I mean, so he didn't. Obviously, that means that the guy either did not look at it at all, which is stupid because your whole job is, that just happened. I'm not sure about it. Let me check it. You're supposed to do that and then send information to the main ref to execute whatever you command, really. I don't think that the ref on the field has any say in it, to be honest. I think the VAR ref says, hey, here's why it's a penalty, so just call it. You know what I mean? That's what I don't know, but that's what I think. He obviously didn't even look at it. And that's like, dude, that's your job. Like, you're not just sitting back and watching the game with popcorn. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that happened. Maybe he was.
That's why he didn't call it.
You see it happen. Because you're not the one who has to be on the field. That's the whole point of the VAR. And your team of people in the booth with you scrub back the footage, watch it from 5 different angles, and then make a decision. But back to the goal with Joseph.
But before we even start talking about the goals, I just want to talk about the creativity that this team has had in its attacking formation.
It's been impressive.
And just the pressure they're applying. Like even like the first 5 minutes of this game, Miram was just going hard in that top left.
And he always does, and that's why I like him so much. I talked about it in last week's episode that never aired because I didn't edit it. But like about how Pity we're starting to be able to appreciate. We used to be frustrated because they would try these things and they never worked or whatever. But we're at that point where they're meshing, where this creativity is like coming through strong. Stuff that Miram's doing, 1-2s and things like, you know what I mean? They're connecting on these simple things that you should connect on, but you only connect on when you have good team chemistry. I mean, Miram's a great example of that. And also alongside that, like you were saying, that fact that in the last 3 or 4 games that I've seen, in the first 15 minutes, they can't breathe. The other team cannot breathe. Pressure. It's nothing but pressure.
I mean, I will say, like, nothing really came out of it other than that they were exerting pressure because they were able to clear it. But, like, just the fact that, like, in the first 5 minutes, I've seen, like, Miram up there, like, 6 times making that play and that run, like, just pressuring and just, like, you know, if you make that pressure, you make those opportunities, something's going to come out of it.
Exactly.
And clearly it did.
Exactly. Like, it didn't come through in the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
But in the 15 minute.
Or in the 15 minute it did. But you know what I'm saying? Like the first 10 minutes where they were just suffocating these people, like, it didn't come through. But it's like,
it's building up.
It's like the so much pressure. Yeah. You're wearing the defense down. You're wearing them down. They're getting frustrated. They're probably getting frustrated with each other. The goalkeeper's probably getting frustrated with them. And then this little goal happens that isn't even really like a good goal, let's be honest. But the reason it happens is because of that pressure again. The ball's in there. The defense is panicking. Other of our players are attacking the ball and shooting it across. You know what I mean? And then in the jumbled mess,
LGP gets a goal. Yeah, I mean,
you put it in the awkward position. That's what everybody says. Is like just lay it in the what I've heard is the position of opportunity. Like you're not going to score 25 yards out. That's not your position of opportunity. But if you get it into the 6-yard box. The opportunity of a mistake, even an own goal, we've seen a lot of those out of Miram because he pushes them like that.
Yeah.
When you have that pressure, people are going to crack. And if they don't, well then, I mean, like, kudos to your defense. You know what I mean?
Brad Guzan.
But that goal from Joseph was impressive because Barco made a run that he should have scored where he took like 4 or 5 touches and then got too close to the keeper and he closed him down and he blocked it. And Joseph said, Barco, let me show you how it's done, bud.
How the
you take one touch and then you blast it from the 18 and he can't do anything about it. Whoever did has the best vision on the team by far. Yeah. And it was the most perfectly weighted ball I've ever seen. He did not have to break stride to get to it. And the run he made was so perfect. I thought he was offside. The first time I watched it, I was like, I looked at Eric, literally. I looked at him. I was like, nah.
That's what he scored?
I was like, that's it?
What?
It was impressive. And the finish itself was also impressive. Seeing it from the, I'll put the angles on the screen where you see the curl and you see the. I mean, he just one touch set himself up, and the defenders were closing him down. If he took 2 touches, he was gonna get He was going to get jacked, you know?
I mean, everything about that play was, like, phenomenal. So when it was passed off, it goes past 3 defenders. Mm-hmm. But it's at, like, that precise angle and speed where, like, it's just going to go past them. They can't stop it.
Nothing they can do.
And then Joseph making that run, not even have to break stride.
1 touch, bang,
I think it was 2 touches, though. I think he, like, had a touch to control it, another touch to set up his foot. And
just a little, okay.
Yeah, like a little.
But still, he didn't try to run into the 6-yard box and get closed down by the keeper. You know what I mean? He said, I've got you beat. You've got a big goal to cover by yourself. Yeah. And I have an open shot.
That's all you need.
And that's what Barco should have done too. But Barco's young. We'll forgive him. Barco, you better start churning some goals.
Start bending.
Villalba's wanting some play time, brother. And I like you more than Villalba because you're younger and you've been very impressive. But I think everything looks very strong and solid for the upcoming matches. I'm really excited about it. Who do we have next? Score prediction for Orlando. We should start doing this at the end of the episode.
Score prediction for Atlanta United versus Orlando. I'm gonna say 3-1.
In Orlando.
3-1. Atlanta United 3.
I was thinking 3-0, but
3-0. That's a bold call.
Yeah, I'm thinking 3-0 because our defense looks good. We held Portland to 0. That's the only reason I'm making that call.
Yeah, I mean, like, our defense is really good, but like at the same time, like one of those little awkward positions. Maybe someone,
I'm not saying
LGP draws a penalty.
I'm not saying we're like immune to goals. I'm just saying with Orlando versus Portland, Portland's attack is way better than we held.
But I will say last time we played Orlando,
both games are away.
Last time we played Orlando, they were looking actually pretty good.
Let me add this. We were rotated, man. It was a US Open Cup game. But still. Let me add this because I did talk about this in our first episode of Hometown Highlights. Is that I wanted to see this team play away because our away record's trash. And they played at one of the hardest stadiums to win at. I mean, Portland Stadium is insane. Their fan base is insane. They're very loud. It's very disruptive. And this team went away. Like I was talking about, I want it to be away. I want to see wins away. And they freaking killed it.
Yeah.
And that's what I was talking about. Like, that team is good. Mm-hmm. And that's why he keeps using it. And I'm glad he keeps using it. And he's making little changes. Like, Lorenovic starting over Remedy because he's tired or whatever. But that team won in one of the most difficult places to win. You know what I mean?
Mercedes-Benz?
I mean, that's a win every time for us. Our home record's like insane. We've only ever drawn. We've lost at home one time this season.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
drawn a couple times.
Is like a difficult stadium to get into.
But like Portland Stadium is equal in that as well. They don't have as much attendance, obviously, but their fan base is, because they're such an old team. They've won the MLS Cup. They have a devoted fan base, just like Atlanta, and they're very loud and it's very disruptive. I mean, you saw the small corner of the stadium they had in Mercedes-Benz for the US Open, or not US Open, the MLS Cup, and they were extremely loud and actually really annoying. Not annoying as in like I hate those people, but like they're just loud. We were just sitting next to them
for an entire
even
hour,
while we were lifting
minutes.
The trophy. Yeah. But yeah, I think this team is amazing right now, and I'm very happy with the play. I was really worried at the beginning of the season. #Sackdeboer, all that stuff was going around. I don't see any of that anymore. And I don't think
anybody's talking about that right now.
And I think kudos to Frank de Boer, because it was always going to be the hardest position to take, coming to a team that was just the champions and expects champion caliber stuff.
Yeah.
But, I'll eat my words. I was wrong. He was good. And he continues to be good. The only problem is he's in this weird place where if he loses, everyone's like, why didn't you just do what you did last time? Well, really, guys, we've been on a nice streak right now.
Yeah, I mean, we went from, second or third from the bottom to the top.
Yeah, we've been top twice.
That's what I'm saying.
This season. Now it's just about holding top, and this team can hold top.
And I feel like
the team that's playing right now can hold top. And the team that's playing right now makes me more excited for playoffs. I mean, for sure. I think if this team goes into the playoffs, we could easily get, first game 3-0 and then kind of seal it there. You know what I mean? It's definitely possible, and especially against these Eastern teams. I'm trying to think of who could, we've had some flunk games, like Chicago and stuff like that, but they aren't beating us again. Let's be real. They're not going to beat us in the playoffs. We didn't have Joseph. Joseph wasn't even hot at that time. We're still working out the team chemistry and all that. Nowadays, I don't know in the East who could beat us right now. I mean, obviously anybody can. I'm just saying, if it comes down to playoffs and we're against Philadelphia, does Philadelphia beat us? I don't really see it. Their goal difference is 8. Philadelphia's goal difference, that's the reason we're top right now. Our goal difference is 17. Theirs is 8. So they concede a lot of goals. You know what I mean? And when you're conceding a lot of goals and you're going against a team that right now is just banging goals left, right, and center, then you don't stand a chance. It just is what it is.
The only team I can see that would even like put up a decent fight on the East is probably the Red Bulls. But even then,
that's just because it's a heated rivalry. It's not even.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just like any other rivalry.
I mean, they're
game.
Not even doing like as well as they were last year. I don't believe.
Yeah.
But like, it still kind of scares me when I see that Atlanta United versus the New York Red Bulls. So I'm like, ooh, that's gonna be a match.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was a draw last time, and the reason why was not because they were better than us. It's because it was so passionate and heated that it just. It's kind of like I watched a lot of college football. Like when Georgia and Florida play, like Georgia can be number 2 in the nation, Florida can be unranked, and there's still gonna be like a 7-point. That's gonna be it, like one touchdown to decide it. You know what I mean? And that's how it always is. It's just because it's that rivalry game.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't predict the rivalry.
That's the only reason why I think that they're possibly the only team on the Eastern Conference that could potentially beat us.
Yeah.
And
I agree with that. But we handled them in the playoffs last year. So. Anyway, we'll see you guys next Friday. We're gonna talk about Orlando and Atlanta. Should be easy.
3-1 Atlanta.
3-1, 3-0, something like that. If we're right, if
subscribe.
Hey, how about this? Whoever gets it right has to buy the other one Taco Bell next week.
Bro, I'll buy you Mello.
Ooh, he's up in the ante. Okay.
You can buy me Taco Bell. I'll buy you Mello.
I'll get on Mello. All right. So 3-1, I buy us Mello. 3-0, you buy us Mello.
What if it's neither?
If it's neither,
what if it's 6-0 with Joseph?
If it's neither, we'll do close. If it's neither, we'll do closest, right? So if it's like 2-1, you'll get it because we can see the goal. If it's 2-0, I get it. Okay. How about that?
Sounds
Deal?
Sounds good.
Bet. All right. See you next week.
Deuce.